In 1976, Andrew Ritchie invented and made the very first Brompton. Moving forward all the way to 2024, not a lot's changed. Bromptons look very, very similar to they did that first day that Andrew made it. But that has all changed recently with the G Line. Now, before we go deeper into the video, I should probably say this at this point. Brompton didn't send me this bike. This belongs to a very good friend of mine who said, I've got a G Line, do you fancy borrowing it for a few days? And I've had it almost 3 weeks now. I might give it back to him. But this is going to be a kind of a different video than the videos that are out there, because I'm not just going to stand here and talk about all the specs of it, because I don't think anybody really cares. What I was most interested in was how different it is to a Brompton, and if you're thinking about buying a Brompton, which line do you go for? Line, do you get it? Do you go for the G Line, or do you go for one of the other more regular normal Bromptons, which we'll call them for this video's sake? But before I tell you what makes the G Line special and what's so great about that, I feel like we need to establish what's great about Bromptons in general. So this is my wife's Brompton. We bought it early this year. My wife's commute is reasonably short, and she didn't really enjoy going in my shed where all my bikes are to dig out her bike, and my bikes would end up on top of her bike and in the way, and they're just a bit crazy with the amount of bikes that are in the shed. So we wanted something that we could keep in the house that was super easy for her to get out and just go to work and come back, and then it's just done. Easy. And immediately we thought folding bikes. Now there is a lot of folding bikes on the market, and they're all mixed reviews on whether they're any good, but like the biggest difference that we found when we were looking was the fact that all the folding mechanisms were just rubbish, and nothing folded into a small enough footprint that it made it that beneficial. A lot of them were still really wide, and we needed something kind of narrow that fit in the hallway or under the stairs that didn't kind of get in the way. So after measuring many folding bikes, we decided it's best just to go for the one that has the best fold, which is the Brompton. The other couple of big factors for me is the fact that Bromptons don't really get stolen all too much. Generally, you're going to have it next to you at all times, or it's going to be in your house with your other stuff. Because you have it indoors or in the office and stuff, they don't take quite as much maintenance, at least in my experience, because they aren't being kept and left out in the cold and the rain and things like that. Don't get me wrong, you still do need to maintain it. They still get crazy dirty from if you ride it in all weathers, which you should ride your bikes in all weathers, but like they just don't get that added rust. And then the last thing is the fact that they hold their value. We bought ours second hand. It'd been ridden a bunch, but it was only a couple of years old, and it still cost us £800. Funny story, I don't like Bromptons. I get Bromptons. I didn't want one for myself. The way they feel, I've never been a massive fan of them. I know people tour on them, I know people do incredible amounts of difference on them, but they're a little bit twitchy and a little bit kind of, I just don't like it that much personally. So I've always said that there's a few things that if I could design my own Brompton that I would change and add to it. And somehow Brompton managed to get in my head and release the G Line, which is exactly the Brompton I wanted. So did Brompton just create the best folding bike that's ever been made? I think they have. Now, before I start gushing about how amazing this bike is and how much I want one now, let's talk a little bit more about the similarities and the pros of this bike before I do share some of the cons. So number one is the way it folds. The fold is pretty much exactly the same as the other bike. Because it is a bigger bike, it does feel slightly different when you're folding it, but not in a negative way, just the fact that it took, like the first time I folded it, it was a little bit like, oh, that's a bit different, but now it's exactly the same. It feels pretty natural. So the fold is pretty much exactly the same. The actual bike itself runs an 8-speed internal hub. Anybody who's ridden a Brompton knows that hub gearing is kind of their thing and kind of what they use, so that felt very similar as well. And that's kind of where the similarities stopped. The easiest way to kind of talk about the things that I really like about this bike is now talking about the things I really don't like about the original Brompton. So one thing I don't like about the original Brompton is the twitchiness of it all, which is down to the way that the fork is very straight down and the very small wheels. So it's always felt a little bit twitchy. Not horrible, but just something about it. With this new Brompton, because of the bars are so much wider and the actual fork and the head tube is a little bit slacker as well, you feel so much more glued to the bike, to the road, and you get that stability that you would get with any normal size bike. And I think that's a key thing here. It feels like a normal size bike. The other thing I personally didn't like about the Brompton was the skinny tyres. I know you could fit some slightly chunkier tyres in there, but generally the way they're built is for road commuting and things like that. I'm the sort of guy who likes to be able to take my bike wherever I want to, whether it be on a gravel path, a little bit of mud through the grass, whatever. So we're coming to the part of the video where we talk about who is this for and should you buy it? And it's a tough one. For me, one of the biggest parts of the Brompton's magic and the reason people buy them is storage. No one's buying a folding bike because they like the way they ride. They buy the folding bike because they need it to fold. With the G Line, you're getting that fold and you're getting that portability, but it's a normal bike. It's more agile, it's more capable, it's more bike. Now, I feel like I'm going to start going round and round in circles now. I still personally have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with it, and the biggest thing for me personally is that price tag. The Brompton I've got that I've been riding is the middle tier, if you like, which is £2,500 or £2,499. For that amount of money, you can get a lot of bike. You can get full gravel bikes. You can get decent mountain bikes. I mean, if you go onto a sale in the right time, you can probably get yourself a full suspension trail bike that's done whatever you want it to do. There's a lot of options out there for that kind of money. So for me to stand here right now and go, oh, you should buy it or you shouldn't buy it, would be kind of pointless, because only you are going to know if it's the right bike for you or not. The reason I'm saying that, I guess, is the fact that it is brilliant. If you've ever ridden a Brompton, you're going to love it. And if you're in dire need for something that ticks a couple of boxes, folds, go on gravel, ride on grass, ride on a trail, then yeah, it is the right one for you, but it's expensive. Just saying. Now, I don't think this is the last video on this bike. I'm sure that you guys are going to comment lots and lots of things that I've either missed, or the fact that the end of this video was me not really being too sure of what to say. I've never felt this torn about something in all my life. It's fantastic. It's an incredibly well built bike. I think it is possibly just more niche than a Brompton, that is already niche. I don't think I'm going to be able to say it any better than that. It is a niche bike that has become more niche, and if you are that category of nicheness, you're going to love it. You really are. Cool, so we're going to leave it there. I feel like I've opened up more questions than answers in this video. I did say at the beginning it was going to be a very different review video that's not like any of the other ones on the internet at the moment, and I think I nailed that, didn't I? Now, a good way to describe the G Line compared to the normal Brompton is it's quite the bulky boy, which slides me straight into the new stickers. I have restocked all the bulky boy stickers in new colours, some that we've had before, and then some new ones. And they're all available on the website right now, so safeoldbikes.com. You can pick up some stickers, and if you are buying a G Line, you can get a bulky boy sticker to put on your new bulky boy bike. And to answer the question I get quite often is, do I need to be a bulky boy to rock a bulky boy sticker? I've never said that many times in a row before. The answer is no. I'm the bulky boy, and this is the badge saying that you're part of my club, or our club. We're inclusive around here. So feel free to pick some of those up. If you're into bikes, you have found the right channel. We do bike builds, we do reviews, we do all sorts of different things around here, but it is pretty much all about bikes. So if you like this sort of stuff, do give it the video a like. Make sure you comment your thoughts on the G Line. I do want to know more about it, and if there's enough questions in there, maybe we'll give this video another go. So do feel free to get down there and let everybody know what you think. And that's that. If you do want to see more videos like this, there's a button here that's for subscribing to the channel. It's completely free, and you're going to love it, and it helps me out a lot. And if you can't wait till the next video, that one there is a particularly good one.
It's alright, no worries. Oh, yeah.